Lisa Spencer is on the line with us this morning, Indiana County's Department of Human Services, on this beautiful Wednesday. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Welcome to March.
Yeah, our conversation today brought to you by Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people. And Lisa joins us each week or each month on the first Wednesday of the month. And Lisa, you got a number of different things to talk about today. What are we leading off with this morning?
Well, first of all, I'm really excited because we are kicking off our 5-year needs assessment. It's actually our survey that it's really kind of geared towards human services, but we'll take information about anything. But we do this every 5 years, and Abby Baker has worked extremely diligently and a lot of time on. We've been streamlining it down because it's just seemed like it was too long in the past. Mm-hmm. So our goal is to keep it open for the entire year till the end of December, and we're going to try to hopefully double or triple our numbers of people responding to the survey.
Okay, so it's something you do every 5 years.
Yes.
And it's called the Speaks Up Survey. And how do people get to it?
This year, Kathy made it so easy. For people who have access to a computer, you can just go to www.32speaksup.com. And so 32 is Indiana's, that's our county number. So we just did 32speaksup.com. And then you'll click right there and take the survey. We had about 35 people take it yesterday to kind of kick us off to see how everything was going with it, and they thought it went really well. So a couple skip questions in there, so it's a little quicker this time. So if you're not a grandparent raising children, then that'll skip a question. If you don't need child care services, that'll skip a question too. Yeah. So much more streamlined and cleaner, I think.
So I'm looking at the site right now, 32, the number 32speaksup.com, and it does indeed take you right to the survey. If people cannot get online to take this, is there another way?
Absolutely. So we also can mail out hard copies. So if anybody wants to have a hard copy, they just need to call our information and referral line at 724-463-8200, extension 3. So that will be for Maureen Pounds, and then we will be able to mail them out a hard copy. We will also try very much to piggyback onto different events throughout the year, all across the county, so that we might be able to, have hard copies or computers where people could just take the survey where we are. We'll go to them this year if we can. Yeah.
I'm interested in the construction of the questions as well as we look at them. The information that they ask for is first to rate Indiana County in regard to a number of different characteristics, as, for instance, a place to raise children, recreational opportunities, educational, entertainment, employment opportunities. But then the series of questions that comes after that. Did you or someone else who lives in your household in the last 5 years have a problem obtaining? And then there's a big list of services there as well. In fact, those are two questions: dental care, vision care, primary health care. So items having to do with health, adult daycare, hospice services. It really is a pretty comprehensive survey, isn't it?
Yes, and really what I would love people to understand is we tried to keep some of the questions in there that will be able to show us some trend data. Since this is done every 5 years, I've forgotten how many Kathy said we're up to now, but this might be the 5th or 6th. But we want to go back and kind of look at the trend data from, the very beginning with some of those real basic questions about how do you feel like, living in Indiana, how are employment opportunities. So we want to keep that. And then it goes into a broad range of just anything that we could come up with human services or services that people might be seeking in Indiana County. And we want to know how successful were they. And then we also put in some extra boxes so that if something's not listed, people will be able to type in whatever their response, in addition to the list that we have, they're able to put in whatever they would like.
Yeah, and that's a pretty good feature because that gives them the opportunity. If they're not seeing the specific problem that they were dealing with addressed, then and that obviously would be a hint to you about, well, maybe this is something to explore.
Exactly, and really what the entire survey is meant to do, it's for all of the human services agencies to try to figure out how to fill gaps. And so they will take the responses from the survey and they will try to, look at their programs to make sure that there's coverage in some of the areas. Now, for instance, let's just say, we get many different responses back that say, you know what, we really think that this is the priority. Then, I think human service agencies need to really look at that and kind of respond and try to incorporate that into their programming. That's really the goal.
Yeah, and if there is a service that you actually feel that you have pretty well covered, maybe someone doesn't have the tools within themselves to actually find that service, and so it could be just a question of, okay, how do we make it more accessible to them, or make it easier for them to find whatever service it is that they're wishing for.
Right. And I think another great aspect of the survey, and one that we felt really compelled to keep in the survey, was in the end there is an open-ended question too. Please tell us any other thoughts that you have about human services in Indiana County, or basically anything that you feel should be addressed in Indiana County, because what will happen at the end of the survey, Kathy and I will break down all of the different responses. It'll take a little bit of time to do that with the written responses, but that's fine. The SurveyMonkey will be able to analyze all of the click options. But when we break that down, that information does just not sit in that survey. That information will move forward to the different agencies or organizations or businesses that really could change what they're doing, or at least know what people are thinking about to maybe get some change.
Sure.
So, for instance, one thing that was really came through loud and clear on the last survey was a lot of remarks about flooding. And now that doesn't have much to do with human services, but that was a real concern for, residents of Indiana County. And, in the recent, last couple of years, some projects have really worked to, help some of those places that, flooded out. So, they kind of mitigated some of those disaster places where the flooding gets quite bad. So that was something where we took that and we sent it all over to Planning and Development and let them have that. Everything gets sent to the commissioners. And so I think it's just a really good comprehensive tool that every agency can use as well.
I note that one of the questions near the end of the survey is about the age of the person responding. And I'm wondering if in the past there's been an idea that you could look at that and determine, okay, who's not being able to take this survey or who doesn't appear to be interested in taking this survey, and how do we reach those people?
Right. And I think overwhelmingly women tend to take the survey way more. And so we would really like to see if we can incorporate or somehow engage men to, kind of just get on there and let us know too, because in this day and age, men are highly participating in, raising children and, taking care of things through, in the home, or, possibly just looking for services for their family members. And that could even be for their parents. And so we really want, what I would love to see is a better cross-section of our county for responses. So, we want to know what the younger, like the 18-year-olds and up, we want to know what they're thinking, but we also want to know what middle-aged and what our elderly population, what they're finding easy to achieve and what they're finding difficult to find. We really need it from a vast majority of people, and we also need it from agency personnel to people who are utilizing services. So we really do expect this year with our bigger push we're expecting with opening it up for the rest of the year that we'll be able to get some pretty good feedback is my expectation.
Lisa Spencer with us, Indiana County's Department of Human Services, 32speaksup.com if you want to take that poll for Indiana County's Human Services. You can also get paper copies as well from the Department of Human Services. I know that you wanted to talk about Family Fun Fest too, right?
Oh, I just want to give a big plug for that because we're actually going to move forward with Family Fun Fest. The Children's Advisory Commission sponsors this event. COVID really put us on hold there for a little bit, but this is going to be Saturday, March 26th at the end of the month from 10 to 3 at the Indiana Mall. And we have lessened the amount of tables so we can spread out a little bit more, just all because we're still, wanting, to try to do our best to keep the crowds down a little bit. And we will also be kind of trimming back what happens at center stage, at the center court for entertainment. We'll have a DJ primarily, just because we also don't want to congregate large crowds. So we're trying to be really, really on top of safety. But we really would love to see families come out and participate. I will actually be at a table where I'll have computers and also hard copies of the survey. So if people would like to fill out the survey at Family Fun Fest, they're more than welcome to. I'll be there.
Very good, Lisa. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Okay, that went so quickly.
See? It always does.
And time flies by when you're having fun, right?
Have a wonderful day today.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Lisa Spencer from our Indiana County Department of Human Services with us here this morning on Indiana in the Morning. Indiana in the Morning.